Okay, time is 3:56. We're back on the record.
What did I do here? So, okay, Mr. Valenti, I'll show you document V19. This is I seem to have screwed up even the pagination, so let's there's V19.
All right.
You can share that with your counsel, please.
Sure. That one.
Do you recognize document V19?
Yes, I do.
Okay, could you look at the Schedule C on your 2006? Are the numbers that are reflected on the Schedule C accurate, correct?
Yes.
And on line 29, is it true that you had a loss of 42,676?
Yes, that is true.
So you had gross income on line 7 of 52,279, but then you had 94,955 in expenses?
Yes, that's correct. That's what the document says here.
Okay, and you had a loss in that year of $50,000?
Yes, that's what the document says.
Well, is it true?
Yes, it's true. It's from 2006.
Okay, so could you then look at document number V21? And it would be document from profit and loss January through December 2006. And it's document number PT037742. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so that document reflects a negative 46,102.
Yes.
So, what is the why is there a difference between what is reported on the profit and loss statement and what is reported on the Schedule C for that year?
I couldn't tell you. Odds are the numbers don't equivalate, and that's why they're different.
Did you prepare the document and profit and loss for January through December 2006?
This document?
That document?
I did not prepare this document. I printed this document off.
So all the numbers that were put into this system, you did not put in?
That is correct.
Okay, did you execute this document, this tax return, 2006 tax return?
Yes, I executed the 2006 tax return.
And when did you execute it?
It says here October 7th, 2011. And it also has another date on it for 11/4/2011.
So again, why did you file the 2006 tax return 5 years later?
Probably because the IRS told me to.
Had you filed it previously to November? November
I think
4th?
I did. I think I was audited, but I'm unsure.
You don't remember if you were audited?
Well, IRS likes to audit me. I've been audited 3 times.
When was the first time you were audited?
I think 1998 or 1997 or 1988. I don't remember.
When was the second time you were audited?
I think maybe 2006 or 2009 or 2011, which evidently appears to be when I refilled all these forms.
And the third time was?
A couple of years ago.
That one's ended now, right?
Well, no, we're in the middle of it. Or at the end of it, tail end of it, I guess, where I'm getting ready to submit all my tax returns.
For what years?
The ones that were audited 15, 16, and 17?
So you're restating those?
Yes, if that's what that's called, yes.
When are they being when are you going to have those
Well,
tax returns
I
done?
was hoping to have them last week, but everything's been crazy. I got the 15s redone, or whatever the heck whatever you want to call that. The 16 is in progress.
Mr. Singh, can I get copies of those, please?
Aren't those the ones we gave?
I think so.
That's everything you had?
We have the ones that you gave me.
Oh, okay. So actually, the 15 I probably just got.
You just
in
said
the email.
they're
So,
doing
yeah, I have to
restated
find it.
ones, and they hadn't been filed yet.
Yeah, the 15 just got redone 2 weeks ago, I guess.
We'll give it to them.
Something like that. Yeah, I'll give it to them, sure. I'll just log into my email.
So here we are, Mr. Singh. After the discovery period is closed for the production of documents, and I'm learning now in this deposition that documents are being produced that are responsive to the request we've made.
We gave you what he had, the 2015.
Yeah, I've given you every document I possibly have. And I just getting my taxes done. I'll give you the document. There's nothing in it.
So looking at document number V21, okay, so for the years 1998 to 2005, you did not produce any tax returns. Do you have tax returns from the years 1998 to 2005?
Probably not. No. If I didn't produce them to you, then I don't have them.
Okay. Would anyone else have them?
No. I'm not sure what that question is.
So if we're looking at document number V21, are the numbers on page PT037737, profit and loss January through December 2003, accurate?
Well, I would probably say they're close to being accurate, if not accurate. Again, I didn't
Do
create
you have
that.
any reason to doubt that they're not accurate?
Oh.
On the next page, profit and loss January through December 2002. It shows a net income loss of $11,1787. Did you have any reason to doubt that these numbers are incorrect?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that for me, please? I don't really believe that I have any reason to think that the numbers on this V21 document that was for 2003 would be wrong.
So it's then you don't have any reason to believe that there was a loss for your business from January through December 2002.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So
I
you don't have
apologize
any
for the
reason to
phone.
believe that there was a loss for your business from January through December 2002.
I would believe that my business lost some money in 2002. I'd have to go back. Oh, actually, so looking at this profit and loss statement here, January through December, it would say that I had a net income of minus $11,000. And barring having my actual tax returns with me, I would say that that number is probably pretty accurate.
In the next page, PT037735, is there any reason to believe that the profit and loss statement from January through December 2001 is incorrect?
Are we looking at 3.4 on the bottom?
3.5.
Oh, do I have a 3.5?
I don't think we have a 3.5.
I don't have a 3.5. But I would probably say that that's probably accurate. You know, as accurate as as it could possibly be. Again, it was just a a document that I found on my computer that's years and years old. So I would think that
What's
I
the
used
last page on your document?
734.
3-4, yeah.
The last document, last page you have was 734?
It goes 736, 734.
I don't know what happened to that page. Okay, so
6-3-4, yeah. So I would think that that number would be accurate also.
okay,
I mean, it's, you
and
know.
then on page 734, it shows the profit and loss January through December 2000, and it shows a net income of 12,312.
Yeah, that would be around right. Nero didn't make any money really until the year 2013. It would make 20, 30,000, and other than my event income, which I ran Nero events myself from 1998 until 2007, that was the bigger generator actually. If we look at some of these, if we just look at the document, let's look at the document and actually, I guess, work it out a little bit for you here. Yeah, so okay, so this is not so bad. I'm looking at the 2003 document. We'll just use that one, and you see the all the different income, all the different expenses, royalty, rulebook, membership, licensing, insurance. Event income was $16,541. So Nero International, their licensing company, didn't really make that much money off of royalties or memberships and stuff like that in the beginning years. In 2013 is when I changed the model, and then we started generating more money.
In 2000, why didn't you, or did you have any business expenses?
Oh, I had just been starting out, and I did have business expenses. I would think that this is probably when this was taken over for me.
So without a tax return and without any deductions listed here, what were your estimated expenses in 2000, if you recall?
Oh, well, I don't know. I probably spent a good $30,000 or $40,000 above and beyond everything that I took in. Because once again, from 1998 until 2016, I traveled around the country to game conventions and marketed Nero at Origins International Game Expo, at Gen Con game conventions. These are 30,000 person attendees cons. In the year 2000, I probably went to Gen Con in Milwaukee, if I think it was in Milwaukee, before they moved to Indiana. And those are $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 expenses going to a game convention with 20 people on staff. You have to feed them. Then you get free hotel rooms most of the time because you're a large company and you're marketing your company and you're running events at the convention. So they're charging for the events that you run, so they kind of give you hotel rooms. But there's a ton of other expenses that go along with it. So I would imagine in the year 2000, I definitely had $40,000 in expenses more.
So was this all the income that you had, though, 12,312?
That's probably incorrect also. Oh, in 2000?
2000.
Yeah, in 2000. I don't think that's accurate either, because I was running Nero events, which was commonly called Avondale in Connecticut, and I ran 10 of them a year, and I generated $33,000 or so, or $2,000 per event. So it should have a higher event income on my tax return for that year.
Okay, but we don't have your tax return because you don't have your tax
yeah,
return. So
yeah.
this document is basically...
Probably just a document that was created by a company that was managing my...
Okay, but it's definitely not accurate.
It's using as a referral. I think this was mostly as a referral for whatever I made in my tax returns and stuff like that. They'd give me this printout.
Okay.
And I would utilize it as best I could with my other documents, PayPal income and stuff.
Okay. Let's hopefully I got the right copies this time. So this is V20. So we'll start with, well, first of all, do you recognize this document?
Yes, I do.
What are these?
It looks like it's a printout from the year 2004 and 5 of my income statement.
Are these for the complete year?
Well, it looks like 2005 was for 12 months, but 2004 was only for 11 months.
Okay. So in 2005 was the complete year, you said?
The third line from the top for 2005 says, for the 12 months ending December 31st, 2005. And the document for 2004 says for the 11 months ending November 30th, 2004.
Okay. So in 2005, are these numbers accurate?
I'd have to say no. I'm not so sure exactly what this document is or where it actually came from. Other than being on my computer, it might have came with the other documents. But I'm unsure.
So is the net income identified on page 2 for 2005? Well, that was the current month. So it says in the last line, net income negative 963.80.
Oh, I see.
Negative
963.80 cents. And that was for the current month. And then year to date was minus 3720.17, correct?
No, you just read off 963 from the net income.
Well, that was for the current month under net income.
Okay, and then, oh, I see you did, I didn't go far enough. Then you're saying year to date last year was minus 3720.17. Yes, that's correct.
Okay, and
That's what the document says.
That's what the document says. But you didn't create this document?
Offhand, I can't remember where this document was created from or whether or not it was created by the same software that this other set of documents was created. But I tend to think that it's inaccurate. I don't believe that I generated $93 in revenue in the year 2005, which is the third column, second row down. But I would have to check and compare.
So looking at the document ending November 30th, 2004, it says year to date.
Sorry.
And that was again through November 30th. That shows a loss of 3,856.18. 3,856.18. Yeah.
856. Yeah, I see that document. Yes.
And you don't know, well, I'll rephrase that. Did you create this document?
No, I don't think I did create that document. I'm not sure if I'm not sure where it came from. I probably found it on my hard drive. I would think that if it came from PayPal, it would say PayPal on it, but I'm not sure. But I think this came from some sort of accounting software, which was not input by me, which would have contained accounts payable, accounts receivables, which didn't get collected or didn't get paid, and probably wouldn't accurately reflect my tax returns. I was hoping I could look at the 2005 return right here and see if that number was kind of accurate.
I don't believe you produced a 2005.
Oh, I did. Oh, okay. Oh, shoot.
So, Mr. Valenti, in year 2001, you had a loss of $13,693.33. In 2002, you had a loss of $11,117.87. In 2003, you had, okay,
11,000.
17.87 cents. In 2004, the best 2003, I think I left off. 2003, 41,331.74. In 2004, you had a loss of 3,856.18. 2005, 3,270. 2006, you had a loss of 46,103.74. 2007, you had a loss of 25,879.56. In 2008, you had a loss of $38,229.37. In 2009, you had a $525.33 loss. In 2010, it was an $8,073 loss. In 2011, a $36,619 loss. In 2013, an $18,367 loss. 2014, $3,978 loss. 2015, $17,502 loss. In 2016, you had a loss of $4,969. 27, you lost $1,500. 2019, you lost $54,119. And in the year 2020, it was $46,634 you lost. And in 2021, it was $70,036. You had an average annual loss of $17,424.86. Indeed, 2 years did you only have a profit. In year 2012, you had a $49,557 profit. In 2018, $938. Were you operating a legitimate business from the year 2000 to 2022?
Of course I was, yes. I was a legitimate business, and with tax returns and everything.
And in those years, I mean, I note that from the years 2001 to 2011, that's a 10-year, 11-year period where you made absolutely no money.
Okay.
In the period of 2012 to 2017, you made no money. And from 2019 to 2021, you made no money, and you've not provided any statement whatsoever of providing or making any money in 2022. So I'm wondering, as I sit here today, how it is that you can quantify that your company has been harmed by my clients.
Well, that's easy to do. I lost Nero chapters, along with a revenue that comes from the members that attend those events, because your client threatened my licensees with a lawsuit if they were still licensed with me in 2018, I think, of October.
So
And
you're
that's
saying
just one way to quantify it.
in the years 2001 to 2005, in which each year you made no money, and which you were not in business with Mr. Bearden, that Mr. Bearden is responsible for your losses?
Well, Bearden, Tyler, and Nero World are responsible for the losses for the last 5-6 years.
I didn't ask about the last 5-6 years.
Oh,
I asked
I'm
for
sorry.
2001 to 2005.
I'm sorry, repeat your question.
Could you read that back, please?
Question, I didn't ask about the last 5-6 years. I am asking 2001 to 2005.
What are you asking about that?
You made no money.
No, I generated a lot of money.
No, you
I
you
made a
lost
lot of money
You
running
lost
Nero.
money.
I made a lot of money running Nero.
No, you reported a loss.
Oh, we've
For each of
reporting
those
a
years.
loss. That reporting a loss entails income and expenses.
Right.
I made a lot of income running Nero every single day of my life since the year 1998 until now. Every day I make money Nero.
But your business reported
And there's
a
expenses
loss.
also. There's expenses also, and those expenses happen to be bigger than the income.
Correct.
That's how a loss is made, right?
So, and I'm asking
So
you
my
why
business-
you had those losses in years 2001 to 2005.
Why did I have losses in the year 2001 to 2005?
Yeah.
Well, when you start a business in America, the general business plan is that you dump a bunch of money into it, don't make money for the first few years, and then you start making money later. Let's just take Amazon.
I don't want to take Amazon. That's
Amazon
enough.
did the
That's
same
enough.
thing
I'm
I
not,
did.
I'm not.
They
That's
didn't
not
generate
relevant.
any profit
Not
for
relevant.
10 years.
Not relevant.
It's very
So
relevant. It's very
2006 to 2011, you lost money every year.
If that's what my documents say, that's correct.
So what caused you to lose money from 2006 to 2010? I'm sorry, 2011.
My willingness to place my own personal money as an investment into the business which I'm trying to grow.
So it had nothing to do with my clients that you lost money.
From what year?
Well, actually from 2001 to 2011.
That's incorrect. From 2009 and 2010 and 2011, I was severely damaged by a guy named Joe Bearden, William Joseph Bearden, and his illegal action of contacting my licensees to depart my organization and go with Joe Bearden's organization called Heroic Interactive Theater. So no, I would say that he actually damaged me in the year 2009, 10, 11, but the previous years, no, he had no bearing whatsoever on my willingness to invest money in my business to see it succeed in the future.
Did Ms. Tyler in any way affect the business in 2009, 10, 11?
Yes, she was absolutely. She harmed my reputation, and she didn't pay her royalties, and she failed to pay me the $1,000 administration fee, which she promised she would pay me when I looked to authorize her her proposal that she sent me that specified she would pay me $1,000 administrative fee, which was in the license between me, myself, and Rachel Morris / Neurotics. So she damaged it because the reputation was damaged of Nero.
Of the $46,000 loss that you had in 2006, how much was attributable to the action of Mr. Bearden?
I just told you none. The $46,000 loss was attributed to me and my willingness to put my cash and my money behind my business called Nero that I was growing and would be and is quite successful.
In 2007, how much of the $25,879 loss was attributable to Mr. Bearden?
None. He was not even in existence until 2007 running his first event. And he didn't do anything negative towards me until the year 2009.
So up until the year 2009, you're claiming Mr. Bearden did not cause you any harm?
Up until the year 2009. We'll say including the year 2008. Mr. Bearden did no harm to me whatsoever.
Okay. So when do you say that, well, let me rephrase that. In 2012, you said you made $49,557. How much harm did Mr. Bearden cause you in 2012 when you made a profit of $49,557?
Well, he caused me a little bit of harm, but I was already rebuilding, and he was pretty much a dodo bird, a dust in the wind, gone in 2012.
So how much harm did he cause you?
Probably very little in that year.
Okay, very little. So how much did he cause? That was in 2012, so very little harm. Okay.
Yeah, it was already dead in the water.
What was dead in the water?
Heroic Interactive Theater.
In 2009, how much harm did Mr. Bearden cause you?
Oh, significant. I lost 8 or 9 different franchises or licensees, whatever you want to call them, chapters, to his promising them the world, I guess.
So what is the...
I lost considerable reputation as well since he took it to the public.
What was the amount of the loss?
We'll just shut that off.
I'm trying to. Okay, sorry.
What was the amount of the loss in 2009 attributable to Mr. Bearden?
Oh, well, at least several $1,000s. I was forced to go to a symposium in Memphis, Tennessee, by Mr. Bearden and a bunch of other licensees that he had grouped together so that they could tell me that I should resign and put them in charge of my business. I told them no. Then I watched them fail in this Heroic Interactive Theater, and I decided that my choice was the correct choice.
How did you get to that symposium in 2009?
Well, I was supposed to get a ride from individuals that Bearden had recruited to go and to the symposium also. Specifically, Randy Hutchings had arranged a ride from another gentleman, but that guy never showed up in the morning that he was supposed to pick me up. So then I borrowed a car from a gentleman named Alex Lutz, who I had been utilizing his computer for the year since I had moved to Georgia. And he lent me his car, and I drove to Memphis, Tennessee.
And who paid for your hotel room there?
I believe I paid for my hotel room there. I'm not even sure, though. It's from 2009.
So how would you quantify or how would you calculate the amount of money that Mr. Bearden has allegedly caused you in 2009?
I would have to think on that.
You've not thought about it till today?
That's probably correct, yeah, I really haven't.
You never thought before bringing this
To
lawsuit?
quantify a number?
Yes.
Of that, no, not really, not in 2009, no.
So there's no specific number?
No, there would be no, right now in my head, there's no specific number.
Well, would there be in any sort of document?
Well, no, I would have to sit down and think about what was the effect of losing seven licensees and all of their royalty, the memberships, if I was getting any from those licensees, and the members attending their events. Then later on, whether or not any of those members would have continued to be members, and they probably all would have. See, a lot of people quit Nero with a false sense of thought.
Which were those
reasoning.
chapters?
Oh, Eastern Tennessee, Western Tennessee, Middle Tennessee, Nero, Kansas, no, not Kansas, Nebraska, I think, run by John Kildare. No, there's one or two others I've had to think about it.
Well, I'd have to need, those are sort of vague references to an area. I mean, what are the names of the chapters that left?
Nero Middle Tennessee, Nero Eastern Tennessee, Nero West Tennessee, Nero Nebraska. And then I would have to think some more on the other ones. Nero, Eastern Tennessee. Yeah, I'd have to think if there was any. Oh, South Georgia, Nero South Georgia, departed. Yeah, I'd have to think harder on the rest of those.
Did you have license agreements with those entities that you just named?
Yes, every one of them.
How long were the license agreements valid for?
Generally 5 years until they get renewed, and they automatically renew. Just because the paperwork wasn't done, didn't mean that we didn't continue our license, and then until the paperwork was fixed.
So you're saying that an agreement that has a 5-year limitation on it automatically renews even if it doesn't have it?
Those are clauses that are currently in the documents now, but in the past they weren't. I don't think the auto renew was in there. But it basically is the paragraph that says, I think we could read it if we get the documents. It really said that the license expires in about 5 years, and a new license will be created with any new policies and practices and agreements that we wanted to put in the new document. And then, I would basically send a new document to the new owner, to the existing owner, and they would read it, and we'd talk about it if they had any questions, and they'd sign it, and then we'd have another document.
Out of those companies, are those chapters that you just named, how many signed a renewal document?
Well, none of them. They all left with Joe Bearden when he told them that the grass was greener on the other side.
Well, how do you know that he told them that?
Because they mentioned it.
Who mentioned it?
Randy Hutchings, Jason Adelaide, Ian Carmen, Justin Roman, Deepak Dinant, Buddy Landreth, also known as Clyde. I don't know.
So you're saying that Mr. Adelot, one of the parties who you filed a lawsuit against, left because Joe Bearden promised him greener pastures?
He left because Joe Bearden said that they could run a better business than I could.
Well, I hate to be sort of pointing out the obvious, but you don't particularly look to be a good businessman. You've lost from 2000 to 2021, that's what, 20 years, you turned a profit twice. One time for $49,557 and one time for $938.
Jeff Bezos ran Amazon for 10 years and lost $50 million each year for the first 10 years that Amazon was running, or somewhere near there in every year that he ran.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's interesting, but we're not talking about Jeff Bezos, we're talking about you, and you didn't turn a profit in 20 years almost, twice.
That doesn't matter.
Well,
I turned a profit every single year, and then I chose to add more money of my own into the pool so that I could market and do whatever else I wanted to with that pool of money, buy assets, etc. So I was very profitable, very successful.
But you just
I'm so successful that your clients want to take my business.
Well, they're not taking your business, Mr. Valenti.
They're not taking. You're right. They're not. They're trying.
Mm-hmm. So you're so successsul that in all these years, you've turned a profit twice. So Mr. Bezos turned a profit after 10. You haven't.
Well, you're actually making your own insinuations regarding the success of my business based only on what my profit and loss document says on my tax returns. My business was and is very successful. I had near 50 franchises in the year 2009. No one can say my business wasn't successful. Maybe you want to say it, but you can say it all you want. But the truth is very accurate. My business, very successful. I'm a decent businessman. I'm definitely not a great businessman. I'm a hobbyist. I'm a nerd, just like everybody else in the industry. If you went and took a look at all the other people who are running businesses, you're in the same boat. He didn't run his business all that good. Mr. Bearden doesn't have proper paperwork for Heroic Interactive Theater. Mrs. Annie Tyler had a lot of tax problems and had to do her paperwork in Massachusetts and fix that in the year of 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Ford Ivy, who was the very guy who sold me the Nero business, was your client, Nero World.
No, it's never my client.
Nero World. And he himself was a business guy, but not the greatest. He held multiple businesses,
We're not asking
multiple
about that, Mr.
copyrights.
Valenti.
So I'm no different than any other small business owner in this country that doesn't have millions of dollars at his disposal to run his business. Right. Just like Mr. Bearden, just like Mrs. Tyler, just like Mr. Ivy and Mrs. Maureen Ivy.
Do you know that these entities did not make a profit?
No.
So
making a profit, in my opinion, isn't
2022.
It
How
doesn't
many
determine success.
chapters do you have?
I'm sorry, ask the question again.
2022. How many chapters do you have?
I believe I have at least 19 or 20 of them that are remaining.
19 or 20 that are remaining. Mr. Beard, do you operate a database for your chapters?
Repeat the question.
Do you operate a database where the information in your chapter resides?
I operate a database where I keep chapter and member information. Yes.
How many active chapters are on that database?
Oh, I don't know. I'd have to go back and look.
Have you produced that database to us in this litigation?
I think so, yes.
You haven't.
Yeah.
Mr. saying we're making a record that we want that copy. We made that request in the last deposition. We still haven't gotten it.
You'll get it.
Okay. So we will put into new exhibit now, please.
22.
I'll separate these off. So that's a we'll just put the color one into 22. Do you recognize this document, Mr. Valenti? Are you keeping it?
Yep.
This appears to be a printout from my database.
What part of your database?
I don't know.
You don't recognize this as the copy from your website that is publicly available that lists the chapters you purport to have?
This? I'm supposed to recognize this from some page in my database? I don't think so.
Not in your
I don't.
database, on your website.
I don't know where this is on the website. I don't see a reference to the website location on the page, so I can't tell anything there. I don't see no website information here either. I was pretty accurate when I said I'm not so sure, but it looks like it's a list of some of my Nero chapters, if not all of them. I could be wrong.
Okay. So, do you have a chapter in Louisa, Kentucky? At Chapmanville, West Virginia?
Oh, line item number 1, Adventure Larp, West Virginia. Yes, I have a chapter there.
Still active?
Yes.
Is Argo Flag in Lisbon, Ohio a chapter? chapter of yours?
It was a chapter. It is no longer active.
Okay. No longer active. How about Harmonia?
It was a chapter, no longer active.
Atlanta, Centerville, Georgia.
It's still a chapter.
Bain, Oro Grande.
Still a chapter.
Borderlands, Athens, Texas.
Still a chapter.
Central Phoenix.
Yes, still a chapter.
Chronicles.
Still a, oh, I'm sorry, no, not a chapter.
Dragonair.
Not a chapter.
Not a chapter.
Not a chapter.
Empire.
Empire, it's still a chapter.
Expedition.
Still a chapter.
Grand Rapids.
Still a chapter.
Hartford.
Not a chapter.
Highborn.
Not a
Okay,
chapter.
guys.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. You're in a rhythm, which is great, but you're going a little too fast, okay?
Where did we leave you all?
Grand Rapids.
Grand Rapids.
Still a chapter.
Hartford.
Not a chapter.
Highborn.
Not a chapter.
Indiana.
Not a chapter.
Kalamazoo.
Still a chapter.
Kentucky.
Not a chapter.
Labyrinth.
Not a chapter.
Las Vegas.
Still a chapter.
Still a chapter.
hmm
Legends.
Still a chapter.
Lost Realms.
Still a chapter.
Maritimes.
Not a chapter.
Well, National LARP, I don't think is a chapter, right?
Still a location. Still a valid location and chapter in my database.
But is it a chapter, or is it that the organization?
That's well. I mean, we're talking about my database, so it's a entry in my database. Yeah, and so
Is it a
I
chapter?
run my own events, so therefore you're looking at locations, and so therefore it would be a chapter, I guess.
Well, do you pay chapter dues?
Oh no.
Okay. Nebraska.
Nope, not a chapter.
North Texas.
Not sure if that one falls under one of the other ones. I'll go not a chapter.
Odyssey.
Odyssey, nope, not a chapter.
Piedmont.
Nope, not a chapter.
Polar.
Yep,
Yep. What?
yes, a chapter.
Ravenholt.
Yes, a chapter.
Southern New England.
Nope, not a chapter.
Southern Ohio.
Nope, not a chapter.
Swag.
I think that's still a chapter.
What is swag?
It stands for Southwest Allegheny Gaming or something. I don't remember what it stands for.
Okay.
What they called swag.
What is test chapter?
Oh, that's our test chapter.
What does that mean?
The word test means test, and the word chapter means chapter. So we put in that one to test the ability to create a chapter.
So it's not a real chapter.
Not a chapter, correct.
Texas Oblivion.
That's a chapter.
So is the list on your database current?
It's accurate.
Is the list of chapters on your website accurate?
Yes, it's accurate. So I think that, the reason that this list here has a bunch of chapter locations is because they're going to, they get left out there until they start back up because there's numerous hundreds of members for each chapter. So I leave them there. When they start back up, we combine them or give the chapter to a different licensee, and we continue right along with it. And we might rename the chapter, if they name something different. And then we generally, like we just recently opened up Polar, reopened it. That was a chapter years ago under John Thompson. And so we're going to, when I get my computer together and I get my time, Michaela and I will merge the Pennsylvania-based chapters most likely into the Polar one. And then we'll move the Argo. Argo is one of my Pennsylvania chapters.
So who is Michaela?
She's our database developer.
What's her last name?
Marzilli, Marzilli.
Does anyone else use this woman to do their database management?
I think so, yes.
Who would that be?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know who her clients are.
So Argo Flag, do you know why they are no longer in operation?
They departed along with other chapters in, I think it was October-ish of 2018.
And why?
Ford Ivy threatened to sue them if they still continued to operate using the Nero name.
And Harmonia?
Harmonia is a Canadian chapter. They actually left my organization and moved over to Nero World.
Is it true that the Canadians don't pay any kind of fees for their license?
No,
How much do they pay?
the same everybody else pays.
What does everybody pay?
A percentage of their income or a straight dollar amount.
Okay, so what's the percentage of the income?
7% of their income,
Gross income or net income?
gross income.
So they pay 7% of gross on any event that they run.
Correct.
Chronicles, why did they leave?
Oh. I don't have any solid information as to why they left. There's plenty of rumors.
Okay. Why did Dragon Air leave?
Oh, Dragon Air left because, let's see, no. Well, Dragon Air didn't leave anytime soon. They left earlier, years ago. If I remember correctly, Chris Christopoulos had a death in his family, maybe his father. And so I think that's why he closed, or he didn't run, or stopped running. I'd have to look at my Facebook maybe or something. I don't even know if I can find out the answer to that. But I'm pretty sure Chris Christopoulos had a death in his family, or two. So it didn't. He stopped doing Nero.
Hartford Orange.
Hartford. Stephen Tyhor, a wonderful person. He left Nero because Ford Ivy threatened to sue him if he continued running Nero.
Do you have any proof of that?
No, I only know that he left in October, like everybody else who left, and that was the date that Ford Ivy had given to everybody in his letter that he put out into the public on the internet, with stating all of his lies and.
What letter was this?
It was a letter where Ford Ivy said, I have the Nero trademark and Joe doesn't, and I'm got to protect it, and if you're still using Nero on October 1st, I'm going to sue you. Pretty sure we gave that document to you.
What ownership rights was Mr. Ivy asserting?
Frivolously, he was asserting the ownership rights of the Nero trademark, which he believed afforded him sole use of the mark.
Did he own a registration with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office at that time?
I believe he might have owned a registration. Actually, I think that Nero World owned the registration for one of my Nero marks, and it was in the supplemental registry, which doesn't afford any kind of exclusivity or protections. And Mr. Ford Ivy was promoting to everyone that he had protections, and he was going to assert those protections.
Are you a trademark lawyer?
No.
Do you know anything of trademark law?
Only what I've read.
So what is your basis for asserting those claims?
I have been using the Nero trademark since the day I bought it from Maureen and Ford Ivy in 1998. I never stopped at all, not for a single day. And Ford Ivy knows that, and so does your client on your other client, and he was lying to the public, trying to assert that I lost my trademark
But
rights.
he held a supplemental registration.
And that's correct, because Mr. Bearden lied to the USPTO on two
How
separate...
do you know Mr. Bearden lied?
It's easy to see. He said that he knew of nobody else that had the right to use the Nero trademark when he was putting the registration in, and he knew that I was using it, very much so. So he's a liar. And
Okay.
the examiner knew he was a liar. The examiner opened up and paved the path.
How do you know the examiner was a liar?
Because the examiner knew the examiner knew Mr. Bearden was a liar, because he then requested Mr. Bearden to clarify his position as the only person who was using or eligible to use the Nero mark.
Were you ever an examiner with the Patent and Trademark
No, but I
Office?
read the documents that were created by the examiner and sent to Mr. Bearden, and where he, again, said, hey, I'm the only one using Nero. No one else has a right to use this, just me. But he knew darn well I was using it, and I had 35, 40 franchises running across the country, in Canada, and in Cape Cod, in South Africa. He knew it.
We'll see. So, did the examiner call Mr. Bearden a liar?
Well, it depends on how you look at things. I think the examiner definitely called Mr. Bearden a liar. Yes, 100%.
But then the examiner approved the registration on the principal register, or the supplemental register.
The examiner did not approve the registration on the principal register. The examiner authorized a registration on the supplemental register.
Well, if he authorized it, then they approved it.
Well, I'm not, again, very privy to all of that information there, but the several questions that were asked by the examiner are proof to me that he knew Bearden was lying when he was filling out the forms.
But if he knew...
And he gave a chance for Bearden to hang himself even further, and then he did. So the examiner actually, in essence, helped the prosecutor, in my opinion, to bring a case against Mr. Bearden for lying to the USPTO, which is what he did, because he knew I was
sorry,
using...
who brought the action?
Because he knew I was using the Nero mark.
So who brought the action?
The examiner brought an action to Mr. Bearden and said, hey, you need to confirm to me that you're indeed the only person who's using this mark and no one else has the rights to it. And Mr. Bearden said, yeah, I'm the only guy.
And how do you know this? Where did you get this information from?
It's all in the USPTO. And USPTO keeps track of all that information that the examiner sends back and forth.
Mm-hmm. And so you're saying that the Patent and Trademark Office examiner was asserting that Mr. Bearden was lying?
I'm saying that the trademark examiner felt that, and or probably convinced himself that Bearden was lying, and he sent Bearden another letter that said, please confirm this.
How do you know that what the examiner was feeling?
He sent another letter to Bearden that had asked him to confirm that no one else was eligible for the rights of the Nero trademark. So therefore, we can think that the trademark examiner was looking at the case and going, hey, there's another guy who used to own this trademark. It's right here in the USPTO, actually, and I wonder if he's still using that.
Do you have a federal trademark registration for the term Nero or any variation of the term
No
Nero?
longer, I don't, no.
When did you lose that?
I believe the trademark, USPTO canceled the trademark sometime in 2009 or 10 or 11.
Mm-hmm. Why didn't you file a new trademark application?
A variety of reasons. Either A, didn't have enough money, B, didn't have the wherewithal that I needed to do it in order to not lose my trademark, or C, I was just too busy.
So a trademark application cost roughly $350. In 2009, you were subsidizing your business that lost $525. You said you continued to put money into the business. Why didn't you continue to put money into the business to get a trademark registration?
I had the registration already. I didn't have to put any more money.
You just said it expired.
And somewhere in 2009 and 10 or 11.
Right, and my question was why
I
did
was
you
a
spend the
busy
money?
gentleman, and I don't have any of the answers for that. Just because I didn't renew my registration of the Nero trademark doesn't mean that I stopped using it. I never stopped using the trademark. I've always had dozens of websites with the Nero name on it. Mr. Bearden and Mrs. Tyler know that. So did Mr. Ivy when he returned to the fray in 2015. I never stopped using Nero. Everyone in the world knows it.
Have you ever heard the rights of a junior user?
No.
Moving on, what about the Highborn chapter? Why do they leave?
Jason Moat was accused of sexual harassment or something something similar to that, and then he decided he needed to up and leave. So he departed
Ottawa,
Illinois and went to California to get away from it.
How do you know that he was accused of this?
He told me.
Is there any record of that?
No.
So was he ever charged?
I don't know. I don't keep track of Jason Moat. He was a great guy when he was, part of Nero.
Okay.
But I don't keep track of him once he left.
So you are asserting that that Mr. Moat did what?
I'm not asserting anything. I'm just telling you what you asked me. You asked me why do I think that Jason Moat left Nero or closed Nero Highborn.
Yeah.
And he lived in Illinois. He had some sexual misconduct charge or something. He said he was leaving. And I said, okay, great. And he left.
What details do you have about this sexual?
And that's all I know.
That's all you
That's
know.
it.
And Indiana, or no, is that Indiana? Iliscata, Illinois?
Sure. Shallon Fisher was the Nero chapter owner. She lives in Texas now. And she actually asked to move their chapter from Indiana to Texas. And I said, yes.
Okay. So, and what about the Kentucky chapter?
Oh, that was... I can't remember his name. Oh, no, yes, I can. It was Ben Loudon. I'm not sure what exactly happened. Excuse me, but that was years and years and years ago again. I think the Kentucky chapter might have closed in 14, maybe. I have to go back and look. I don't believe that the Kentucky chapter was a victim of the Fort Ivy / Nero World threat.
And Labyrinth?
Labyrinth is California. They just stopped running, I think, this year. They, they didn't. I don't believe that they departed because of Fort. I think the pandemic or something, or people get busy. Most of the time, a Nero chapter owner comes on board for about 5 years, and then maybe they'll renew once. A couple of them have. A few of them definitely have. But most of the time, it's about 5 years. Most of the chapter owners get married, have kids. Find a better job, have to move to a different state, and so that's generally why they'll run for 5 or 6 years or 7 years, and then they'll close down or sell. Normally they sell to another or a new licensee, and everything gets transferred over, and it's ordinarily pretty smooth, but not in a lot of these cases from 2018.
And what about Nebraska?
Nebraska was John Kildare. That's a good. Actually, no, I'm sorry. Nebraska was John Kildare in 2009. He departed for different pastors and started running Heroic Interactive Theater.
But do you know why?
Well, he told me that he went with Interactive Heroic Theater and with Joe Bearden because Joe Bearden was 1 state over from him, and I was 5 or 6 or 7 states away.
Okay. What about North Texas?
North Texas. Well, actually, I didn't finish with Nebraska. So John Kildare, I sued him in small claims court for breach of contract, and he paid me $1,500 for it to settle. And then Nebraska actually was opened by Carol Smith, if I remember her name. Carol Shockley. Carol Smith. I don't know if she got married before or after. I think she might have been Carol Smith in Washington, D.C., but she became Carol Shockley when she moved to Nebraska, and she opened up, and then she ran for a few years, but she closed down also. I think it's earlier than the Fort Ivy threat. I think she maybe 14 or 15. I have to go back and look actually about her. And then what was the other one that you said? There was a question after that one. I forgot to.
North Texas?
North Texas. So I have a bunch of I have a bunch of Texas chapters. There's Oblivion right now. The Legends actually runs in Texas, even though it's listed for Louisiana. Oblivion. So yeah, I think North Texas was probably not in operation, did not leave for the Ford threat. They probably departed earlier. I think that was Matt Jones, was the last owner of Nero North Texas. He might have been Nero DFW, but I think he had some life challenges, and so that's why he didn't run.
What about Odyssey?
Odyssey is in Florida. So yeah, Odyssey left. Odyssey might still be around, actually. I don't know if they've actually departed, but that was run by, what was her name? Yeah, actually, they probably left a few years ago, too. But I forgot her name. There was 2 guys. John Kroll was one of the owners. And I forgot the young lady's name. They had challenges, more so I think in Florida, actually trying to rent a campground and get a game up and running, and that's why they closed.
What about Southern New England?
Southern New England closed, I believe, because of the Fort Ivy threat, or partially because of it.
Do you know
Yes.
that for certain? Do you
No,
have
I don't know. Well, they left on October also, along with everybody else.
October when?
I think it was 2018. It might be 19. I have to go back and look at the Fort Ivy letter. It's so long ago.
Okay, and Southern Ohio, when did they leave?
Oh, Southern Ohio. That's Travis and Michael Jones. Michael Jones. Probably around the 2018 era. Again.
Do you know that for certain, or is that just a?
Well, he could still be around. A few of these chapters here that I mentioned was that they didn't tell me that they were leaving, and we're all kind of waiting for this pandemic or whatever it is to flesh itself out, so to speak, I guess. So there's a little bit of that, and a little bit of waiting on what happens with the lawsuits between myself and the defendants.
And Swag?
I think he was having some family problems. Clinton Schneider, for all I know, he might still be running, but I would say he's closed.
Why did he close?
He might have left because of the Fort Ivy thing, but other than that, I think he might have gotten a divorce or a separation from his girlfriend. I'm unsure.
So he might have left because of Fort Ivy, but you're not sure.
Yeah.
So of these companies that you listed here, how many are attributable? How many departures are attributable to the actions of Mr. Bearden or Annie Tyler? Emery
I
Tyler.
don't know. I'd have to. I would have to go back and look at that. I don't know if these are all the actual chapters that are listed that I have.
No,
right
of
here.
these that are listed here, how many are attributable? Departures are attributable to the actions of Mr. Bearden and Ms. Tyler.
I'd say about 6.
Which
I'd say
ones?
6. I'd say Odyssey, Maritimes, Southern New England, Argo Flag, Harmonia, Hartford, okay, I think that number.
What was the action of Ms. Tyler that led these companies to leave?
She was participating in the Miro World scam when the letter came out from Fort Ivy.
So you're saying that just because she participated, that caused other people to leave?
Yes, that's true.
And what was the action that Mr. Bearden was doing that caused?
Well, he was actively trying to ruin my reputation.
I'm sorry, let's stop.
I'm sorry.
What actions was Mr. Bearden taking?
Oh, he was contacting people and telling them lies about me and my business and what his theories were regarding how come he was able to register my trademark. He was telling people that I lost my trademark, which means that it was my trademark, and so therefore he's bad-mouthing me. He sent me a letter himself that said that if I didn't hand over my business and all of the intellectual property that went along with it and the licenses, that he would ruin my reputation in the public arena. So that's what he did after I said no to him. He went out to the public arena, created a fake guerrilla email account and spammed everybody that he could. And everybody knew that it was him. They all told me that it was him, but it might not have been him. You'll never know, but it was probably him. So yeah. And
so
then,
you're speculating about an action.
He made dozens of posts on Facebook page regarding me and my actions and my company. That's what he did.
What were the actions? What were the statements?
I think we gave them all to you.
I want to know from you. What
I'd
were
have to
those
go and
statements? I
look
mean,
them
you
up.
gave me a lot of
I'd
stuff.
have to go and look them up.
So
You're asking me.
I was asking you. This is a man you're accusing of ruining and affecting your business, and you don't know what specifically he said.
It's all in the documentation. I'm not going to speculate.
What document?
It's all. You've got a copy of it all.
So you can't point to any specific document, any specific date.
I wasn't aware that I was supposed to bring those documents here to point to them.
I'm asking you what statement he said when that caused harm to your business.
Right.
And you can't
He
point
made a
to a single
statement.
document.
He sent out plenty of emails to my licensees directly with letters from Fort Ivy and letters from himself.
When?
In those statements, between the years 2015 and today, and in those statements, he badmouthed me, specified lies, made insinuations, and those documents have all been provided to you.
But you can't point to a single one that contains
Well,
such
I can go back, and once I get a computer set up in my house, and I can print off all those documents for you, and I can bring them back here, and I can show you them. I'd be more than happy to do that to you.
We are going to mark the next document as
23.
23. You keep in. Oh, I'm sorry. There we go. Sense. So, Mr. Valenti, do you recognize this document V23, which is DB 000177 to 183?
Yes.
And could you tell us what it is?
This appears to be a small claims court filing, for lack of better words, by me against Mr. William Joseph Bearden and Heroic Interactive Theater Central.
Is this your handwriting on this document?
Yes.
Did you sign this document?
Yes.
And did you file this document in the District Court of Douglas County, Kansas?
Yes.
So, it says in this document, and I take it that under petition that is handwriting from you?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that question?
Under petition, in the center of the document, there's a handwritten set of words?
Yes.
Is that your handwriting?
Yes.
This document was filed with Douglas County District Court on May 21st, 2013, correct?
Yes.
So in 2013, what torturous business interference did Mr. Bearden allegedly do, and when?
In September of 2009, defendant breached our agreement and committed tortious business interference. He got together with other individuals who were licensed by me, which is against the law, and he convinced them to depart my organization for his organization, and then he took several of my documents, which I provided to him, as well as other documents, or assets, I guess, and utilized those for his new business.
So, in September of 2009 this occurred?
Yes, and then he continued using my intellectual property, I think, well into 2011 or 12.
Which intellectual property?
My Nero coins, gold, silver, platinum coins, maybe some copper, a program that was created for my business that he converted over to his new heroic business. He took my treasure distribution policy, which is a trade secret, and converted it to his heroic interactive theater business. And then when we got to court for the Jason Adelaide case, they tried to say my coins were coupons, but the judge figured out that that's wrong. So yeah, that's what he did.
So in the Adelot, you keep coming back to this Adelot lawsuit. How much did you win in that Adelot lawsuit?
Well, I didn't win anything. I won the truth, though.
In September of 2009, had you been selling Mr. Bearden coin?
I don't believe so, no.
So how did Mr. Bearden come to have coin if you didn't sell it to him?
Oh, well, they made an extravagant, awesome policy under Heroic Interactive Theater, and they told all of my Nero members that if they moved all of their membership and their characters, that they could bring their gold and silver coins from my business, and they could utilize my coins from my business in his business. And they did. So he got a bunch of coins that was from my business into his business, and then they used them.
So did you sell coins to the people who played your game?
In 2009, no.
How did people get coin?
The chapter owners buy them.
So the chapter owners buy the coin. Do they possess the coin then?
Well, the chapter owners purchase the coin, and then they have the coin, and they give it out in the treasure distribution policy to the players who attend their events.
Who owns the coin once the people buy it?
Nero. It's all a prop asset. It's all.
But you sold it.
I sold it to the chapter owners for the purpose of their use in my business.
So you're saying that you sell something, but you kept ownership?
Yes, that's how it works.
Or how what works?
I sold the chapters the right to use my coin, and then they bought the coin, and then they distribute it, and it stays with Nero, and it's got my intellectual property on it. It's much like a Chuck E. Cheese coin.
So
Chuck E. Cheese coin.
If I go to a Chuck E. Cheese,
yes,
and I get Chuck E. Cheese coin, I
$5.
walk out with it because I own it.
And you have 5 Chuck E. Cheese coins that you own. If you want to use that, you own it. If you try to use that in commerce at all, Chuck E. Cheese will sue you because their image is on the coin. So therefore, you own it, but you can't use it in commerce.
How do you know that? Have you consulted with Chuck E. Cheese?
No, I haven't, but that's, I believe, how the law works.
Which law?
The law of copyright infringement, trademark infringement, and patent infringement.
Were those coins patented?
No, they have an image, copyright Chuck E. Cheese. They actually might be patented. I'm unsure.
No, your coin.
No, my coins aren't, but they have an image that is copyrighted from my copywritten materials in it.
I'm sorry, which copyright was that?
I would have to go back and look again. I believe the Nero rulebook has a copyright to it, and it has images that we placed on our coins.
So you took images from the rule books and you put them on the coins?
Yeah.
And you're claiming that those coins are covered by copyright?
Yes.
Have you registered that with the Copyright Office?
Well, I don't have to register the coin. I have to register the image that's on the coin. And I believe the image is registered because it's included in my books, which are registered.
I would like copies of those copyright registrations of the coin and the images that appear on the coins.
Do you have anything like that?
No, not of the coin. I have the copyright registrations
he
for all
doesn't
of
have
the
a
Nero
copy of
rulebooks.
He doesn't have a
All
copy
the
of
Nero
those.
rulebooks.
He just said you got them copyrighted.
Because he's saying it's part of the book.
How can a coin be part of a book?
Not
The
the
image.
image on the coin is in the book. He's
Which-
saying the
which-
book, and he's saying the book is registered. I don't
Is that
think
what
you-
you're
I don't-
saying?
I don't think you ever got
exactly
a
what I said.
coin registered or an
No,
image
no,
of
I
it
know.
separately.
If I can, I will go and do that right away.
Okay, so which images were taken from which book and put on the coins?
The Evandarian Crest's image that I believe is in the second or the third edition of the book. I'd have to go back and look. I don't have those off the top of my head. Excuse me.
Which edition do you think it was in?
Well, let's go look. Second and third.
Is there a second edition?
Yes.
Do you have a copy of that second edition?
No.
So we can't verify that that's in the second edition. Because we don't have a second edition. Maybe you can tell us. This is an exhibit that is marked Pearson 6. It was an exhibit, and we'll use that and I believe this is that what you understand to be the third edition?
This looks accurate for the third edition, yes.
What picture then was taken from the third edition?
I believe it was this picture right here.
Okay, who created that picture?
Oh, I don't know. I'd have to go back and look. I think it might have been. Hold on, let me look. It might have been Max Steinmetz, and I have a copyright assignment from him.
On that picture?
Yes, I believe so.
In 2013, when you brought this lawsuit, you had known since 2009 that Mr. Bearden was allegedly conspiring with multiple people to take their intellectual property?
I think that I got information about it in. I wonder what year it was, 2011 or 12, where it became apparent, I guess, or I found out. At first, there were a lot of rumors and stuff, and didn't see anything, but yeah, and somewhere along the line, I found out they were using my treasure distribution policy, and they were still using my coin. I forgot when they stopped all that, but I know they got their own coin minted in order to stop using my coin, because they talked about it, but I don't remember all the dates on that stuff.
So in this document that you filed with the court on May 21st, 2013, the date of September 2009 is incorrect?
No, I believe in September 2009 the defendant breached our agreement, and he committed tortious business interference.
On the same day, or at the same time?
Yes.
September 2000. Was he also, as of 2009, taking your intellectual property which is copyrighted and
Yeah, he took some of it, yes.
in 2009?
It turns out, yeah, he in 2009 he took some of it, the treasure distribution policy.
What other copyrighted materials did he take?
I'd have to go back and think, and really have to think about it. This is from 2013, and a lot has been gone. I have to really think about what it was, the 3 or 4 documents that he took, like the program or something like that. The program that was written by, I don't even know who it was, in Colorado. I really couldn't tell you. I mean, it's from 2009, 2013, so.
So if you could turn then to document DB 000182. Is this a different action? Is it a different action?
I'm sorry, I didn't know you were asking me that question.
Yeah.
Wait, so is DB 000182 a different action from the DB 177?
Yeah.
Well, I think they're the same. If action means complaint in the courts.
So what I'm trying to figure out is this document is dated, the 182 document is dated July 22nd, 2012, dismissing an action against William Bearden. And then the action that was filed against Mr. Bearden was filed on May 21st, 2013. It's on the document.
Holy shoot. I have no idea why this looks like that. That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I didn't put this. I don't think I put this document together. Did I put this document together? I don't think I did.
We found this document, and we have this document. We produced this document, and here it is. It says July 22nd, 2012. Does it not?
Yeah, it does.
It does.
So it looks like what we're seeing is that the court paperwork is messed up?
Okay, so perhaps, though, if we read the text,
Oh.
it looks like the court made an error with the docketing.
Okay. All right, yeah. Okay. All right, okay. Yeah, it does, yep. Because the text says now on this 22nd day of July 2013. Okay, yeah, cool.
So
That's messed up.
Did you understand? Right.
I wonder if they did the whole year like that. How many other people got stamped for 2012? And if it matters. Does it matter? I don't think it matters, right?
So the court moved for an order dismissing this matter at plaintiff's costs. So why did you allow this action to be dismissed?
I believe I found out that William had moved from Lawrence, Kansas into Missouri to live with his girlfriend, Giovanna Longo. So after 30 days, it was, or 45 or some number, I think the sheriff's department called me and said they couldn't locate him. It didn't look like he was living at the house. So I said, okay, no problem. Just don't worry about it. We'll just let it go. And then a couple of days later, Mr. Bearden updated his website to remove the frivolous people that he was listing as directors.
Well, let's look at document number 179,
Sure.
the same set. So are you saying that this document was never served on Mr. Beard?
Oh. I guess. He was not served. It says here that he was, let's see, a copy of the above notice of the hearing, distributed a copy or depositing said copy in the United States mail, postage prepaid, on 5/22/2013, addressed to the following parties as the last known address.
Okay.
So that was to me.
Okay. And what did you do after you found out that Mr. Bearden had moved?
Nothing.
Since filing this action in 2013, had you filed an action against Mr. Bearden ever again?
Only in 2019.
I'm sorry, 2019?
Yeah, I believe in 2019 UST tab.
Oh, the TTAB. So you filed an action before it, but you didn't, between 2013 and 2019, a period of 6 years, you took no action.
Yes, because Mr. Bearden did no longer use my documents. He failed miserably. His business was closing, and I didn't have to go after anything that was closing and failing miserably.
Okay, so then you're saying that between the years of 2013 and 2019, or actually, because his business had failed miserably, there was no damage anymore to your business, so you didn't need to go after him? Is that
No,
correct?
I wasn't going after him for damage to my business. I was going after him in 2013 for intellectual property, or let's see, a breach of contract. Where is that stupid document? So I was busy. Mr. Bearden was irrelevant.
So,
Made
but you
himself
just
irrelevant.
said that Mr. Bearden failed And so, therefore,
He failed so badly that he had to continue to come after me via Nero, and that's why he registered my trademarks, that he knew I was using my business.
okay, so
Come on now.
what damage did Mr. Bearden's failed business cause you between the years of 2013 and 2019?
Well, 2013, his failed business didn't do too much to me because it was a failed business. 2014, not that much. 2015, when he decided that he would lie to the USPTO and register my trademarks as his own, that hurt my business. It
How
hurt
did
my
it hurt your
reputation, hurt
business?
the business's reputation, hurt everything.
How?
Well, he immediately went out to the public and told everyone that I lost my trademarks, which means that they were my trademarks.
How
that
do
you
you
took them.
How do you quantify then the amount of money that you lost because of Mr. Bearden's actions?
Oh, I would probably look at all the income from Nero for the years from, let's say, 2014 until present. And I would really take a look closely at the 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 years. And I would look very closely at the year in which Fort Ivy put out the threat, Nero World put out the threat, that they would be sued, my chapters would be sued, and then you will see that my income and my chapters running events all decreased significantly. So I went from, let's say, $90,000 income in 2019 to $37,000 or $55,000 income in 2020, and then $37,000 in 2021. And that's because I lost Nero chapters, and the Nero members of those chapters wouldn't pay me membership fees anymore because they're not going to Nero events. They wouldn't pay me for character upgrades because they're not going to Nero events. Much like Jason Moat paid for character upgrades before he went to my awesome Nero chapter in Texas. I lost all that revenue from all those chapters that departed because Joe Bearden registered my trademarks as his own. And then ultimately...
Can you prove that?
Yeah.
How?
I have all the numbers and the figures. I gave
Where?
them all to you. I gave them all to you. You have them.
So you're saying that these numbers show
Oh,
that
yes.
you provided me to show that Mr. Bearden resulted in actions
Mr.
resulted
Bearden,
in loss.
Mr. Ivy, and Mrs. Tyler's, their action is a conglomerate called Nero World, and they were all working together. Mr. Bearden continued to send emails out on behalf of Fort Ivy, and all those things ruined my business. It ruined my income, destroyed my morale of the licensees that I had. And it's all common knowledge.
Were there any actions that you ever took that caused your business, that you personally took, that caused your business to fail?
No, my business is not a failure.
Okay, is there any action that you took that would drive people away?
I'm sure there are. I mean, nobody is well liked by everybody in a business.
Are you well liked?
I'm very well liked by the majority of the Nero members. Yeah.
How many Nero members are there? Nero players?
I think my database says 8,000 or 9,000.
8,000 or 9,000. Have you produced that list of
Yeah,
members?
I think we have.
I'm not so sure about that.
I think I have.
Okay.
If not, it's an
I'm
easy
going
number
to
for
point
me to
out exhibit number, where are we? Did you, by the way, Ms. Flynn,
Yes.
are we also marking exhibits that are marked in other cases than with a new, or do I refer to them with the or the?
Have we been going consecutively with the, did you start with number one for Mr.?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, I'm sorry. So this one was used in David Jodwin's deposition. So do we refer to it as David Jodwin, or do we enter it again as an exhibit in this deposition?
That's up to you.
Okay, then we'll just leave it as
Okay.
David Jodwin and.
Okay.
Okay. So, are you keeping this designated as David Jodwin deposition?
Yes, but I won't be putting, are we on the record? We are,
Yeah.
okay. I won't be putting it on the exhibit page because
Okay.
it's already marked.
It's already marked. Okay, so I'm going to hand you the exhibit that was marked as David Jodwin Exhibit 8. And I will give you each copies. I'll just make sure I got the. Okay.
Actually, I need to go to the bathroom again before we start questioning.
Okay. Okay.
Take me a minute.
10 minutes or 6 hours. Okay. Let's go off the record then.
Okay.
Okay, time is 5:27. We're off the record. Okay, time is 5:31. We're back on the record.
Thank you. So I've handed you what is designated as Valenti Exhibit 24. It's got the Bates numbers DT 011003. Mr. Valenti, do you recognize this?
Yes.
Okay, what is this?
Appears to be a couple of pages from my Nero rulebook.
Okay. Could you turn to the second page?
Sure.
Which version of the real rule book is this, or which edition?
I can't tell by looking at the documents that you present. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's version 3.
I'm sorry?
It's a version 3 of the 9th edition rulebook.
Version 3 of the 9th edition rulebook. How do I know that it's the version 3?
Well, if you turn the next page, Mr. O'Brien, you'll see on the bottom right-hand corner of that page, you'll see a V3 in the light gray area next to the black, bottom right corner.
Okay.
Do you see it?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Who wrote this edition?
Probably Adam Albert. No, I'm sorry, Adam Taylor. He made all the significant updates.
Who wrote the first edition of V1 of Nero Rulebook 9th edition?
Okay, so, well, you're saying who wrote. The book was compiled and put together by Adam Taylor, and yeah, probably Adam Taylor. He probably had his wife Heidi Taylor, Heidi Morris Taylor help him. He got the text from either me or directly from Michael Galasviker, guy that was working for me.
On the second page. Second page, the second page, that's the
yes.
004 page. Okay, it says, does it not, that the Nero name and logo is a registered trademark of Nero Registered Symbol Live Adventure Games, LLC?
It does say that on the paperwork, yes.
Was that true?
Well, evidently I'm hearing that it's not true.
I'm asking if
Well,
it's true.
I of course, you know, I owned the Nero name and logo, and so when I... Is that me? My phone's off.
My ringer's off entirely.
It'll shut off. So
Okay. Let's see. So I had thought that when I moved and published a book, that I needed to put the Nero name and logo as a registered trademark of the business that I was operating. So that's why I put that there.
So when was this version published?
Oh, I'm imagining it in roughly 2011. I don't know when version 3 actually came out for this.
So the number of
date.
2014 is not accurate?
Oh, actually, you know what? This one was probably updated. Hold on. Yeah, it was updated in 2014 because I removed the R and put the TM in there. And maybe it might have been 2014. Yeah, that's when he registered the mark. I imagine maybe I did that, or I updated it in 2015. I don't know. But yeah, I would imagine it got updated in 2014.
So, Mr. Valenti, I'm going to hand you another document. This one is the David Jodwin document. It's already been produced to you, to your counsel. This was in connection with the David Jodwin and deposition. Could you turn to the second? Well, do you recognize this document? This document, well, David Jodwin's good enough designation.
Okay, so well, the first page appears to be the same. Second page appears to be the same, except for a few extra words.
I'm sorry, who does it say owns the trademark?
Oh, the Nero name and logo is registered trademark is a trademark of Nero International Holding Co. Inc. If that's what the sentence that you're looking for me to read is.
I'm sorry, your name is trademark of?
I apologize. The sentence here on the David Joe DeWin document says that the Nero name and logo is a trademark of Nero International Holding Co. Inc.
Is the word registered struck through?
Yes, it is.
Why did you strike through that?
To be honest with you, I probably tried to update the thing and remove the word registered, but it didn't remove, and it got struck through. And that's probably why.
Okay, so in 2014, what is the last date on this Jodwin Jodwin?
It also says 2014.
2014. So did you cause this document this version of the rule book to be coming out also in 2014?
Well, if you make any updates to a document, and you have to put a copyright assignment date on it. So when we updated this document, the NERO rule book in 2014, with changing the R symbol to the TM symbol, I put the 2014 there because that was the last time it was updated.
So
I think that's accurate.
So in 2014, who owned it?
I did.
So neither Nero Live NLAG or Nero International Holding Company owned it?
Well, it all depends. I'm not exactly familiar with the law and how that all works exactly, but I had thought that I owned it and I could sign the trademark anywhere I wanted to, the Nero name, the Nero logo, the copyright for the Nero rulebook. I own it all.
But it doesn't say you own it.
No, that's correct, because I incorrectly updated the book.
So it was a mistake.
Yes.
In both versions that you're holding, was there a version where you were identified as the owner?
Well, I'm identified as the owner in both of these documents, in my opinion.
Where is it identified as
Nero
the
Live
owner?
Adventure Games LLC is owned by me, and Nero International Holding Company is owned by me. So they're owned by me. So their assets that are of those companies are owned by me. So I would think that it's owned by me. I thought, and I'm pretty sure I'm incorrectly at this point, I thought that when I updated a book that I would need to put all that information into it so that it was accurate as I could. It turns out that I didn't actually have to do any of that stuff at all, because it's not necessary. So I definitely made an error. I think I even updated it.
But you updated it to another error.
Well, I updated, it depends on what you mean.
Well,
There's
you
no
just
error.
told me that neither of the two entities owned it.
Well, no, well, according to the way that these laws work, I was incorrect in the document updating. In the year 2014, Nero International Holding Company was. Let me think about this for a second. So you're talking about who owns the mark. So it's me.
No, I'm not talking about. I'm asking you: is it true that the Nero International Holding Company Inc. held the copyright of this 9th edition?
Wait, you're talking about the Nero name and logo is a trademark of Nero International. You didn't say copyright.
Okay, sorry, copyright. Yeah.
So right, so you know, Nero International Holding Company Inc. Evidently was and still is the owner, because it was the last recorded owner on record with the USPTO. I might be wrong in that explanation because I don't know exactly how to describe it right, but I thought that I was supposed to put the name of the company that was utilizing the name and logo, because I was running Nero Live Adventure Games, and I was running that business, so I thought that was correct. Turns out that I had to leave Nero International Holding Company because that was the last known entry in the UST tab or something like that, so I put it back to Nero International Holding Company as opposed to my own name. But I thought I might have actually updated it to my own name more recently, but I'm unsure also of that.
So did you hold a copyright registration for the rule book in 1990?
In 1990, did I have a copyright registration for the Nero book? No, I did not.
91?
No, did not.
92?
No.
93?
No.
94?
No.
97?
Let's see, 97? No.
1999?
1998.
1999. What it says here, 1999.
I bought the business Nero International Nero International Inc. from Ford and Maureen Ivy on August 3rd of 1998.
Did you have a copyright registration in 1999?
I was given a copyright assignment by Ford Ivy, so therefore the answer is yes.
Did you have a copyright registration in 1999?
Yes.
With whom?
Copyright registrations are with the U.S. Copyright Office. Is that the right answer?
Interesting. Did you have one in 2011
Yes,
and 2014?
yes.
All three were registered with the Copyright Office.
I have a copyright registration for the NERA rulebook.
When did you register that?
That was given to me, that was assigned to me by Fort Ivy on August 3rd of 1998.
Did you record that with the Copyright Office?
I don't think so.
Okay, I think we're done. We got left some time, right?
Yes. We're
Okay.
at 6 hours now.
6 hours. I'm going to save my hour,
Okay.
so we'll go off the record.
Okay, the time is 5:41, and we're off the record.